Welcome back to Go Gaddis Real Estate Radio. My name is Cleve Gaddis, and I'm here to make real estate clear and simple and worry-free. And if you want to connect with me, it's really simple. Go to gogaddisradio.com, Gogaddis radio.com. You can ask questions that I answer on air or off air. You can make comments. You can challenge things we say. It doesn't bother me at all. You can share your ideas with us. You can request we do some additional research on your neighborhood and feature your neighborhood on our neighborhood spotlight. This week, we're actually featuring Windsor at Lanier, up near Lake Lanier Islands. And you can subscribe to our podcast and our YouTube channel. All of that is available at gogaddisradio.com. We're going to shift gears now and talk about something really everyone is thinking about as we move through 2025 and into 2026. And the question is, what exactly is happening in the housing market? And I don't mean the headlines or the clickbait that you see or the TikTok panic videos, but really the real story, because right now we're watching something rare. We're watching the potential for an actual soft landing in the housing market, something the Fed has been trying to engineer for almost 3 years. Today, I'm going to break down what that means, what to expect, and what buyers and sellers should be preparing for over let's just say, the next 6 months. First, I want to talk about interest rates. This is the big driver, big driver. Over the last 2 years, a little more than that, we've been living in a high interest rate environment. It's not high historically, but it's high compared to rates over the last 10 years. We've experienced 6.5%, we've experienced 7%, and sometimes over 7.5%. And I believe everyone has been waiting for that magic Fed moment where rates drop like a rock. But here's the truth, rates aren't going to collapse. In my opinion, they're going to drift downward, slowly, steadily, in a controlled way. We're already seeing the early signs of that. Bond markets are stabilizing, inflation has cooled off. The Fed is signaling more clarity, not necessarily lower overnight, but giving us a predictable path to lower interest rates. And I know there's some of you listening saying the Fed funds rate doesn't have anything to do with mortgage rates. Let's just say as the Fed funds rates go down, that it increases the chances of mortgage rates also going down, even though the actual interest rate on a mortgage is really more closely tied to the yield on the 10-year Treasury bond. So what does it mean for real estate? Well, it's going to mean that buyers and sellers are no longer going to be frozen. When people can predict what's coming, they can plan what they want to do. And I think many people throughout North America today are feeling much more confident about what the future looks like. So expect mortgage rates to settle into a range, not 3%, I don't think, not 4%, but something like the mid 5s to the low 6s as we progress in 2026. And believe it or not, that's enough to unfreeze a lot of pent-up demand in Atlanta, across the Southeast, all across the U.S. Let's talk now inventory. We have something economists call the lock-in effect. Millions of homeowners are sitting on 2.5% to 3% mortgage rates and refusing to sell. And this has been really the biggest force holding inventory down nationwide. In 2025, this won't completely go away. 2026, this won't completely go away, but it will soften as rates drift down to the mid 5s. Some owners will say, okay, I can finally move. I'm not giving up 3%, but I'm upgrading to 5.75% or 5.5%, and that seems manageable. So I believe that we'll see move-up sellers. I believe we'll see more retirees downsizing. Tammy and I, those of you who listen to the show know I'm getting married next April, and Tammy and I are planning to buy a house in Dallas. I'll have one in Atlanta. We'll have one in Dallas for a little while. Eventually, I think we'll probably live in Dallas, and we're very aware of the size of our home. We don't want something that's too big because we don't want too much to take care of. More families will start to relocate, and really fewer people will feel just stuck. Fewer people will feel stuck. Next, everyone's favorite question, are prices finally going to come down? Well, the short answer is, in my opinion, not meaningfully. In a soft landing, prices don't crash. They basically kind of stabilize. They go down to the floor and then they stay there, or they grow slower, or they flatline in some neighborhoods. But in high demand metros like Atlanta and Dallas and Nashville, prices will likely see at least a modest appreciation because we're really still underbuilt and over-demanded, meaning we have more households than we have places for people to live. 2025 is shaping up to be a year of normal price growth, not the 15% jumps of 2020 and 2021, but not the crash that people are waiting for, maybe something in the 1.5%, 2.5%, 3% growth. I'm going to say something next that I think is very important. The best window for buyers may be the end of 2025 and the first half of 2026. I'm going to say that again in case you missed it. I think it's something important. The best window for buyers may be the final 2 months of 2025 and the first 6 months of 2026. Why? Because rates will be trending down, in my opinion, but competition won't fully return until the public realizes that it's time. We've seen this cycle many, many times. Rates drop, buyers return, bidding wars start again. Right now, motivated buyers still have less competition. Sometimes you are the only buyer at the table trying to buy a house. That gives you way more negotiating leverage. Sometimes it earns you more seller concessions because the seller is willing to be flexible with you because they know if they don't sell it to you, they might not be able to sell it to anybody. And to be honest with you, there are tons of builder incentives. If you are looking to buy a home and you're not at least considering new construction in Metro Atlanta, I say shame on you, because builders in some cases offer amazing interest rates. They have amazing incentives. They have discounted prices. And I would say in some cases you might be able to buy new construction in some areas less than you can buy an existing home. I know it's not apples for apples, but less than you can buy a resale. So as the year goes on, the window for less competition, the window for buyers having more negotiating leverage, earning more seller concessions, and getting more builder incentives, that window closes. And when rates stabilize in the fives, I think buyers are going to flood right back in, and it's predictable. For sellers who are listening to me thinking, okay, well, he's not talking to me right now, he's only talking to home buyers, here's your strategy. Don't wait for a fantasy market. Price for the market you're in, not the one you remember. And this is not an easy thing to do. In a soft landing, buyers become more rational. Overpricing kills momentum. Homes that launch fresh and correctly priced, man, they sell fast. Homes that launch looking really, really good, homes that are listed where the home seller has a high level of awareness of how their listing stacks up to all the other listings, those things sell fast. Because here's the interesting thing. Inventory is still tight relatively. Sellers who prepare properly, paint and do repairs and staging and photography, you're going to dominate the spring market, because when a buyer walks in your home, it's going to be lights out, because it's going to be so much nicer than the other 7 homes they saw earlier that day. Boom, they're going to want to jump on and they're going to buy it, and they're going to pay, in my opinion, a very nice price. So the sellers who will win in 2026 will be the ones who have a house that looks like a professional is trying to sell it, not the ones who just list and hope. I see homes that are listed that are dirty. I've been in homes that are listed that don't smell great. I've been in homes that are listed that look like the last time they were rehabilitated was 1987. And I'm telling you, those kind of homes have a hard time selling in today's market. So here's some Atlanta-specific trends. Let's take a zoom in to Atlanta. The Southeast continues to attract corporate relocations, retirees, investors, remote workers, and a steady flow from Florida and the Northeast, and we don't see that slowing down at all. Georgia is still one of the top 10 inbound states in terms of relocations, and that puts a really nice, healthy floor under our market. When you have more households, if the number of households in the area continue to grow and continue to grow and continue to grow, even if we're building more inventory, we still, in many cases, the growth of our population is outpacing the growth of inventory. You have areas like Gwinnett and Forsyth and North Fulton. Most of these are not declining markets. They're stabilizing, and some of them continuing to slowly rise. Investors are still here, builders are still building, and even with higher rates, the demand really hasn't disappeared. So What should you be paying attention to over the next 90 days? 3 things, I think. Number 1, mortgage rate drift. Not the big drops, but the consistency in the drops. Are we moving in the right direction? Number 2, you should be looking at new listings. If inventory rises even slightly, buyer activity will probably continue to spike if interest rates are going down at the same time. And I would pay very close attention to builder incentives. Builders are the real leaders in this market. Their behavior often predicts what will happen next, and I believe that is 100% the case. So here's the bottom line. In my opinion, 2025 and 2026 are shaping up to be the year of the soft landing. Not a crash, not a boom, but in my opinion, a rebalancing. If you're a buyer, the next 6 months really are your window before competition returns. If you're a seller, proper preparation will give you a massive, massive advantage in a still what is a tight inventory environment. And if you're just trying to make sense of all the noise, well, stick with us. We'll keep giving you the real story, not just the headlines. I think it's going to be a fascinating year for real estate, and we're just getting started. If you want to talk to me personally about your specific situation, you can go to gogaddisradio.com, GOGADDIS radio.com, or you can call 770-497-0000. When I say I'd love to talk to you, I mean it. We're going to take a quick break. In our neighborhood spotlight, we're featuring Windsor at Lake Lanier and our smart homes on their way out. And what is a real estate wholesaler? And do you want to be one? We've got those subjects and more. Stick with us. We'll be back.